We're talking to Dr. LMadu, and he's talking about the African world and the scattering of Africans all over the world and some of the consequences of that scattering that has an impact upon their social, economic, and political situation. And of course, Dr. LMadu, let's continue our conversation.
Yeah, like I was saying, the common denominator, of these Africans in diaspora, wherever they are, is that they're discriminated against. They're always at the bottom of the ladder, politically, economically, and socially. So that's very important to know.
All right.
Even when they're in the majority, they're still, at the political and the low level of the political and social ladder. For example, in Jamaica, blacks are majority, predominate, 1% is about white. But they control the entire economy and even the political system. Yeah, the blacks vote, but the whites control the government. Yeah, I saw what happened when Mr. Michael Manley, who was a mulatto, after he left the prime ministership. And a black guy was to succeed him, Mr. Patterson. And they were asking, is he equal to the job or equal to the task? Okay, because of his skin color. Exactly, because of his skin color. In Guyana, the same thing. After independence, the British, handed over to a guy called Chedi Jagan, who was Indo-Guyanese from Indian stock. And the Indo-Guyanese has always discriminated against the Afro-Guyanese. So that's what happened. Then there were some riots and disturbances. Then when a black man called Robert Bonham took over, he started trying to entrench, black power and black rule, as an antidote to discrimination. But still, the economy is controlled by the Indo-Guyanese, and the white folks who live in Guyana. To the exclusion of blacks who predominate in population. In Suriname, almost two decades ago, really, a guy called Lieutenant Colonel Bautuse, he took over the government by force, who was running a military government. He started carrying out some kind of genocide against the blacks who live in the country, in Suriname. So it's the same thing in most, Latin American countries. Africans, do the menial jobs, lack the education, and excluded from really anything other than cultural activities. Even the carnival. Yeah, even the carnival. For a long time it was banned officially. Yeah, blacks have to hide to do the carnival. Yeah, but when they saw that the carnival was of economic value, yeah, it brought in a lot of money, a lot of tourists and all this. Yeah, a lot of those countries legalized it. Like in Cuba, in Bahamas, in Trinidad and Tobago, in Brazil. It's official now. Because of the
economic impact
exactly, because of the economic impact that he brought. And those carnivals started as a cultural activity of Africans.
And they and the idea was to try to suppress that cultural activity.
Absolutely.
Black pride, as it might be called.
Absolutely. That there was to suppress it. But when they saw that there's some economic value to having that festival, then they made it official. I mean, you can imagine how many millions the Brazilian government makes after all, during that festival in Rio. Yeah, and the Bahamas and Trinidad and Tobago and all that. Yeah. So it became, because of the monetary value, some to them. The same what they call the candombe dance, part of voodoo. Yeah, the government didn't like it, but when they saw that, it's of economic value, people come just to watch it from some places. They said, no problem, we'll make it official. So these are some of the types of ways try to suppress African culture in some of these places. But the good news is that in some of these countries, African culture thrives. In Brazil, for example, on the northeast coast, where Africans predominate. Yeah, the people still speak some variation of African language, still wear African clothes, eat African food, and all that. The buildings are similar. So there's hope in some of those places. But the main problem is that of what I call political sensitivity.
Okay.
A lot of the black populations, they have not been highly politically sensitized.
Okay.
It's their right to demand changes.
Even though they might be in the majority.
Exactly. Exactly. Even though they're in the majority, they've not been politically sensitized. Just like, we in this country got sensitized, to our rights. Say, hey, we can go to the same schools, we pay the same taxation and all that. Yeah, most of the blacks in diaspora have not been so politically sensitized. And because they lack the political muscle, or even the financial resources to do anything, because the government in most of